What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and I'm joined with
James,
Jeff,
and we've got Michael on the ones and twos.
Hello.
Thank you so much, man. If you like the show and you want the content, the best way to support us is by going out to patreon.com/TCG University, just like all of these awesome people. We have Addy, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Bryce Rasak, Chris Miner, Clay Cardwell, Jacob Arshin, Masur, Jay Rogers, Jarrett Hubbard, Jesse Cervini, Jesse Morrison, Jesse Nix, John Stone, Justin Farce, Justin Hobbs, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Kieran Vision, Lucinda Ludica, Okami Law. Scroll down for me. Orlando Valdes, Sandoz, Paul Casagrande, Peyton Kiker, Ransom McArthur, Samantha Stevens, the baddest bit around, Sean O'Brien, and Tyler Zane Pease. Thank you guys so much for helping us keep the lights on, pump out this awesome content. But if you don't have any bucks to toss our way, that's totally chill. You can catch the podcast later for free on YouTube with ads, no pre and post show, or on podcast services around the globe. As soon as I get them caught up and re-added, I just keep forgetting. And go and support us out on the other social medias. We got Facebook, Twitch, so on, TCG Player, so on and so forth. Big shout out to our sponsors this week. We have Red Riot Games, Card Custom Build, Inked Gaming, and Deck Protection, but we'll talk about that just a bit later. For now, as we change our lower third, how was your week in UniVersus?
I just built the decks we played today. That was all I've done so far.
That's it?
Yeah. Tomorrow with my day off, I'm planning on building the other stuff for the next week's coming up that I haven't done yet.
Okay. And next week is a pod week, correct?
Next week's pod, and then I think we have pet decks, right?
Yes. We should talk about that maybe in the post show and figure out how that's going to work content-wise.
Yeah, I was going to ask about pod. Like, how does it? How are we doing? Are we doing with pods? How are we doing?
No. I have an idea, but like the important part is I got to get 7 matches out of it.
The important part is I've used 2 of my pet decks in the last 2 weeks. Yeah.
How's your week in UniVersus?
it was fine. I played that Ken. I played Ken, and
That's a winning Ken deck.
yeah, that was a cool Ken deck. Devora was fun. And then Garrett Brett deck was sweet too, even though.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I didn't think I was gonna be here today, so I didn't make any of these decks. But they were fun to play.
I noticed at like 2:00 last night that you didn't, and I was like, "Huh? Well, I guess I'm just gonna make these decks." And then I made Garrett Brett and Bomb Man. Like we'll just slam them
I think my
together.
decks this week were really cool too.
I thought your decks were indeed very cool.
Wait, who made Time Man?
I did.
Oh.
I believe it'd be Pod 3, right?
It is Pod 3. Yep.
Like that Keenan Meadows deck is really, really cool, but it's so focused on one thing to where your deck that said, I don't care.
I just don't play with foundations. I'm sorry, man.
It's fine. I didn't look. I didn't have time. Like I was at work all day today, so I didn't have time to look at the bracket. And I saw it and went, yeah, whatever.
I just didn't think about how your deck wanted to work against my deck. That's all it was. I just put my 4 decks not against each other because I didn't think you guys were coming.
Spun a wheel.
And then spun the wheel on the rest of them.
Yeah. It's a real cool. I like the name for it. Play your stage here like a piano. Because Keenan Meadows.
And by the way, whenever you gave me that clue of how to play the deck, it was a riddle as opposed to telling me how to play your staging area like a piano. What the fuck does that mean mechanics wise? Like,
That's just the name for the deck.
Yeah, but it didn't tell me how the deck worked.
If you look at the deck list, it tells you how it works.
The whole point of that is for you to tell me how the deck works.
What was the Eugenia
Spin
one?
a web so your opponent doesn't. It's like
I just came with a funny name.
It's a funny name. It's a funny name. Next time, tell me how the fucking deck works.
Was the Eugenia one better?
Was it just discard their hand?
It was a Supreme Discard Eugenia.
Sure.
I thought that deck sucked.
What?
I even played a match with that deck, and I thought it sucked.
Hey man, it beat Bomb Man, and I'm mad about it. So, spoilers, I guess. My week has been fine. We did the retro roundup, and I am trying to make a Salinka retro deck and force somebody to play it. I have my eye on my champion that I want to go.
I like that.
I want to just like put it on him and like give him my champion's blessing. That's what I want. Of Hellfire Salinka, just go get him the deck.
Just build it then.
I have built it on tabletop. so that he can just copy the deck and mess around with it. But this person doesn't like both Hellfire Impalement and Punch and Judy, and they are for sure in that deck. For sure.
Who are we talking about?
What? I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
4 of the 5 people in this are in this room.
I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. This is for the next Jasco official retro event.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
like,
I'm trying to.
4 of the 5 people that play in our tournaments are in this room.
I'm trying to champion him and be like, hey, go bust her out at this tournament for me.
That's what I told Keenan was just like, oh, this deck's about to just blow. But that one time I get to go off, oh, it's gonna be pretty cool.
It is gonna be pretty cool. Other than that, I've been itching to place that Order Songman deck that I had. The reverse. Oh my God, I just want to play it. I just want to play it all the time.
I just want to build decks.
It's crazy how much I want to play it. Oh, that deck feels just so good. It feels just like a TAM deck. Like,
You guys remember when you guys said Xiangmin was bad?
What?
You guys remember when I used to
Oh,
said,
she is bad. She is bad. She is super, super bad. Unless you can find really good reversals with her, which they've printed some really good reversals, right? I honestly think
it just looks like somebody's flipping their thing on me again.
The one. She's so good. She got a different character band. All right, she's that good. But if your opponent has once one of them $10 rare Sensimorals, you're just like, well, fuck. Okay.
Happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
Got me. But yeah, I just keep wanting to play Raptor Rush Sangmina. Be like, block with Raptor Rush, play Raptor Rush, 3-speed.
Dude, I just wanna play
if you block
Sophia
it,
so
I get to
bad.
pick up my block reversal. If you don't block it, I'm gonna tell you what zone you're in. Stun 3 on your turn.
Same way I feel about Sophia.
Yeah,
Just
just
like-
I just want to yum.
I literally had to.
But you also get to play Raptor Rush too, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think
four
that card's great.
That card literally says I'm committing like 4 to 5 cards on your turn.
Yup.
I'll block partial, commit to my turn. Play as a reversal. Oh, did you block? Commit 2 more. Oh, was one of them a Mali? Oh, commit another one. Oh, am I playing Friends or Rivals? Commit 2 more.
Yeah.
Next thing is minus speed, and I'll change the zone to whatever I need to block with, so I could then commit more cards.
It feels good. It feels super, super good.
What was that? I was about to say something too. Look.
You gotta say it quick because I'm moving on.
Go ahead and move on, I guess.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the retro recap. Did you guys watch any of the retro events
I was
this
here.
upcoming weekend?
A very small amount.
A very small amount.
Same thing, but I was here listening.
Okay, fair enough. So all we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk about top 8. The event ran unbelievably smoothly. It was super, super rad. The prizes were like Swallow Your Soul. It was great. Super fun. That should be right there. And so you should be able to see on screen right now the top 9 decks, right? Yeah, top 9 decks.
'Cause Nightmare.
Yeah, and so just starting from the bottom, we have Sam Tate playing Grant Padley under Air.
That deck looked real.
Deck was freaking awesome.
Deck was real fake.
It was super, super cool. So he was playing Royal Poison to commit his character to give his attack +3/+3. And then if you blocked it, he just readied his character again. And then he kept playing cards.
So I was here when that match was when you were watching. Are they both?
It was
here?
Grant versus Ben.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
here watching that.
That was round 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I was here watching that, and the entire time I was just like, why not just Playboy everything? Because you guys were talking about, I was just like, holy fuck, M3C, Playboy, do a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah,
with Soup
yeah,
Tech.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god.
And so there's a combo with Soup Tech and Playboy that Superior Technique says as a form, discard a weapon card as a cost, draw 2, then discard it. And then Playboy says form, remove, add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. And so you go play a weapon, play Soup Tech, discard it, draw your 2, Playboy, pick your Soup Tech back up, play one of the weapons that you just drew. You play Soup Tech again. All right,
Goes back to the top.
Yeah, it goes back to the top. Oh, another Playboy. All right, I'll draw my pot of greed one more time. All right, hit it again, boys.
I should have built an all deck.
Yeah, it was
Because we could do the
really
same
cool.
thing and have Mina.
Yeah.
We have Scarlet and just I had Playboy in on my turn.
Yeah.
I'll just pop it and pick up this.
It was cool. And then we had Mario Cervantes,
Cervantes
Kin 2. It was actually the exact list that we played today.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. He submitted
just
it.
got-
He submitted it for the our last campus championship, and then played it this weekend.
Nice.
Really, really rad. One of the honestly crazy innovation when it comes to Kin off symboling all those symbols. He was playing a fire deck with like all of his actions being under the void symbol and being able to like chain Tagoros and revoke in order to stop his opponent. But
You just ditch
still
him like
having out of your league and
Unite.
time to end you. Is that the name of that card?
Yep. And Unite.
And unite. He was playing like tam levels of actions. Playing so many actions.
That's what I thought when I looked at the deck.
If they ever unban Fatality, I have a really cool deck I actually want to play with Kin.
We'll talk about that in just a bit. Adam Teets was playing Andy. Just good Andy, just mollywopping people. Colby was once again playing his evil Iori, playing the six diff card that snapped to momentum. What is it? The Taki card. Fatal Violet?
Violet.
Yeah. Fatal Violet. And so he'd like play a card, play Fatal Violet, kick it in momentum, and then he'd play the Iori card that says discard 2 momentum, burn him for 6, draw 2, which felt good. And that was kind of his whole game plan. Jose was Dr. Wily 2 dot. Just doing classic Dr. Wily stuff.
Was this not the deck you hated looking at?
Oh, this is the deck that I hated
okay.
looking at. Sorry, no. Sorry. It's not the deck I hated looking at. It's just not the deck that I would have made. Right? I'm such an old head when it comes to Dr. Wily. I can't get into these new Zoomer. I
playing
can't
about
get
this
to
like
these
a
new
week and a
Zoomer
half.
decks. Right? What do you mean you're not playing an all ally attack engine?
Okay,
What happens?
Boomer.
What happens if you you hit a foundation on top? What do you do to do? You got a 3 on top of your deck. You're gonna lose now. Yeah. He took out premeditated attack from his deck totally. He just took it out. He was like, I just don't want it. And I'm like, yeah, but that card sometimes says draw 2, build 1. And he goes,
Why play allies?
He's
I mean,
like-
you give 2 speed to anything, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, just play
just
Foundation Destruction.
Fuck
Who
it. Who
cares?
gives a shit? Whatever. Yeah.
I'm down. I'm in.
He's playing Swimming Bird. That card was insane in the deck.
Yeah.
We had Scott Sunman, your boy Heinous, playing a Spike
Heinous.
1. Just did a
Not play Spike.
really good Spike 1 deck. I mean, that deck's like all about fundamentals, right? Like being just really good at the game.
Yep.
Is playing a minimum Spike deck, 59 plus character, and just was like, hey, Moonset's a really good card. I'm going to play 4 Moonset. Cal Yuga's a really good card. I'm going to play 4 Cal Yuga. And just like play the game that way. Boop. We had Tim Keefe as Kotal Khan. This deck was insane. This deck was super, super cool. The coolest part about it was playing Kunoichi no Mai, which I think is a very underrated card inside of very underrated card inside of Retro. It is a 7 damage covert intent.
Yeah.
That if you play it
4/7 or
as
2/7?
2/7, too high for 7.
2/7.
That if you play it as the 4th attack this turn, it ignores progressive. And so you're just like, oh, attack. All right, discount momentum. After we're done, I'll clear my card pool, you clear your card pool, and I'll just
Draw
keep
cards.
going.
Which is
and
real
so,
funny because Kotal says instant momentum.
Yeah, Kotal's like, oh, I'll snap that momentum. So on turn 1, if I want to, clear it. And then because he's playing the life build, he was playing Finding What's Lost. And so he'd clear his whole card pool
Yep.
and then be like, oh, well, now it's got plus 4 damage. Boop. Oh, sorry, man. And then just playing like Reverberate, and that card is insane in Tim Keefe. That's a card that we as TCGU need to like put way more thought into.
We need to buy more.
Yeah. And then lastly, our winner was Clint Badger playing Andy. Not only did he
Shadows?
hit the Swiss champ, but he broke the curse and just swept the whole event. Didn't lose one in the day. Just playing. I guess he played Andy better than Adam did, but I mean, they both just were like mollywopping people. I'm happy about this list. We had a singular diversity happen with Adam and Clint, which kind of like tells us that maybe lack of diversity inside of our game might actually be okay. Like if diversity was not a hard rule, that'd be like it'd be something.
I mean, I guess this entire format's
This entire format is not. We've never had like more than 2 of a character jump into top 8. Like we just haven't.
I'm still not 100% how I feel. Just specifically because of things like Cassandra, Big Bang. Like it just.
Well, that's an issue not for diversity. That's an issue with design.
I mean,
and
it's
playtest,
why
right?
diversity exists, though. It's for stuff like that. If that was just a more basic deck, like it was just a here I'm a turn 3 do cool things deck, and it just goes off. Like if it was if those cards were the strength of like Ken, but like Ken was like just the strongest, everyone would just play Ken.
I
I think this
have
game
no idea
needs
what you're talking about.
diversity.
Like, I
I'm
do not
saying,
understand
like-
your examples at all.
If Big Bang attacking Cassandra weren't like just this slow deck, it was just an aggressive deck that just won. Like it was like a Ken deck.
Yeah.
But like it was the top format deck.
And it was as consistent as the Cassandra deck
As the
was.
Cassandra deck
okay,
was.
I'm back in.
Everyone would just play Ken.
Right.
There's no big brain to it. Like Cassandra is just a super defensive deck
Yeah.
that if you play slightly wrong, somebody can take advantage of it.
Sure.
Ken just goes, don't play bad, don't check bad,
Sure.
win game.
Sure.
Like
How
just,
about instead of that? How about just what if everybody played Andy? Right? I mean that character's good. That deck's good.
Yeah.
So I mean, like with no diversity, like you just get like 20 Andys like in the event, and then
Yeah.
like 6 of the top decks are Andys, and that's why diversity needs to be a thing. And like you can look at it this way of like, oh, only because 2 of them got into top whatever, like we might not need diversity, but at the same time, diversity is keeping that amount of decks in check because like, oh, I know this good people are going to play this deck, so I got to play something else to combat that.
Well, to combat your combat, Michael, these events don't have diversity.
Oh, they don't?
No.
No.
That's why we have 2 Andes and tops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're doing some experimenting with the retro format because it's kind of our off season. It's card sideboards, and they're banning things out of standard. There's no fatality, there's no bang in this format. Those 2 cards just don't exist. I do think Cowboy Andy is the best deck in the format for both. I could see Cowboy Andy being argued to be the best in standard and retro together because of how he works and how aggressive he is, and he is that aggressive Kin deck that you're talking about. But with there's a bunch of stuff. But like conversely, the idea of the fact that it's retro, so nobody's like really caring, or like this is just a time for me to go down nostalgia lane or whatever, might be interesting. I think what'll change that is if the invitational that we know very little about how it's going to work, how that looks with diversity, if that has diversity. Apparently there is, to catch you guys up, this is pretty much all I know, is there is a point system that the details have not been expanded upon completely, that if you do well enough in these events, you X amount of cut to a separate larger tournament, like an invitational, which is neat, which is fun, which is cool. We don't have the details about it, and so like maybe once we get into real try hard mode of an invitational, maybe the entire event's going to be Andy, or the entire event's going to be how do I beat Andy. And so like I think that's something about it too.
I just like the diversity just keeps us out of like the Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh formats of just 1, 2, 3 decks.
Rock,
just
paper, scissors?
just dominating everything.
Yeah, but I mean, so here's like the turnaround, right? You fix diversity if the game is very healthy, which I think the game right now is very healthy. Like I think there are some shining stars, but whenever we look at Pod 1, when we look at Pod 1, there was for our pods, right? And that's not an official tier list or whatever, but there's a ton of characters that I think could easily bop Andy. There's a ton.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's a ton of characters. Like I think if Kodal had played a little tighter, or made some slightly different deck choices, right? I don't think he was playing Aswell's Little Doll, and I think Aswell's Little Doll is insane versus Andy. Every time that you add a card to your staging area, I'll check a 5 and commit it. You don't end your turn having built double and still be attacking me. You have to you play with the foundations you have. You have to wait till next turn to use them. I think there's answers like that exist, right?
Like you got Saintly Beast, Leader of the Saintly Beast is the same thing.
After you build one? Or
Yeah,
you
after
ready
they
one?
build one. Oh, it's
It has to
Saintly
It's
be
ready
in your
one.
card pool, right?
Beast.
Oh.
No, that one's the discard momentum. You bounce it back to the deck.
Yeah. But anywho,
Transform. does it.
there is no bang, there is no fatality, and sideboards are 10 cards. I am very happy with the format. I think the format is very, very happy. There's some things that still I think need to be cleaned up and tightened up, but I think overall, I think the format is very good. I mean, I had a blast today when we recorded our retro stuff, right?
I had fun until my game 3 with Time Man, but yeah, other than that,
I mean-
I enjoyed myself.
That's just like the inherent,
That's just the impalement,
right?
like deck style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You either check hot or you burn up, dude.
was like
Burn
playing
up
fun
on
decks.
re-entry.
No, I really liked that Time Man deck though.
And I think it's really, when it comes to Time Man and Hellfire Impalement, sorry, we'll leave Time Man. I'll leave Time Man out of this. All right. I think when it comes to Hellfire Impalement decks, I think that's just us having not like crafted the perfect Hellfire Impalement deck to just like ship him on top of.
What's Shadow?
Shadow of a Cowboy.
Okay.
Personally, I don't mind Shadow of a Cowboy. I think Shadow's fine. I think the issue is Meteor. And Meteor being able to destroy Shadow to bring back Shadow. I think that's insane.
Soup Tech, yeah.
Yeah.
But Soup Tech's, it's going to be a fun
I actually think I'm okay with Soup Tech for at least one more event. But I mean, it's not our call.
I just
Tim
mean, like-
has not asked us to be on the Shadow Council.
Blindfold is definitely on my list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we want to get like into the weeds just a little bit, I mean, Meteor could easily go, could be banned in Standard, but there's literally zero chance that it is banned. They're gonna ban a third Ultra Rare from Libra Souls.
No.
Zero chance.
I think they get rid of Blindfold
Zero.
for Retro, though.
Zero. Yeah.
I think Meteor's fine inside of a format where you want to do cool things, but when it's just, I'll play Blindfold.
Yeah. That's all in a blindfold. Michael, do you
then,
know what blindfold does?
Oh no, I definitely don't.
It's Caden's Blindfold. It's back from the original Red Horizon set. It says form, destroy, add a powerful attack from your card pool to your hand.
Whoa.
And so you play Meteor, and you destroy one of your garbage foundations, and you add in Blindfold, and you swing your Meteor. And then
And
during
bounce
form
it.
speed, you just pick it back up, and it goes to your discard pile. And you play your Meteor
loop it.
again.
Errata it.
Yeah.
They won't rat it
Why?
because it's not going to be standard legal, so they don't have to.
They don't have to, but
They're not gonna rat at something for a format that technically still does not exist.
It exists.
no, it
I
sounds
think
like it
they're- it's on
I
exists
think
to
they're just
me.
testing it.
It's on retro. What are you
I don't see it.
It was about to be a big tournament for it. Like, I don't. What are you
when
talking
they do
about?
that, I'll count it. But right now, to me, I don't feel like it's a real format.
I don't know. It's just such a simple. It's just such a simple form remove. That's all.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, like,
It's Sub-Zero all over again.
it's I don't disagree with you, but I think the problem isn't Blindfold. I think the problem is the only card that people ever pick up with Blindfold, right? If there were multiple targets for Blindfold, people were like, ah, shit, I really want to pick up. I can't even give you a powerful attack I want to pick up. It's just Meteor.
Royal Poison.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick up.
It doesn't
my
have powerful.
Oh yeah, it does.
Definitely does.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
EX and
I'm
powerful
gonna
3.
choke you to death.
That's right.
I'll kill you.
Okay.
Tim posts the top deck lists there. Yeah. He hasn't posted these ones yet though. Anywho. Yeah, retro was super fun. I'm excited for the next one. It's mid-November, right? It's like a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I doubt they'll do anything during Christmas as far as
It is their
I already have
the
something planned, but
whatever is not on Christmas like official, but it's like the week before or something like that. They're doing
they
them all
usually try to remain
mid.
out of getting close to holidays. I guess with
with
being online, it won't matter.
not only online, but like people aren't supposed to be traveling for holidays because of current world events. Yeah. I would absolutely love for you two gentlemen to jump into a retro event at some point. I think it'd be super fun. I would love to see some TCG representation. Right now, we've just got a bunch of nobodies out there trying to win this event.
I missed the one I cared about.
Yeah.
First one.
The second one. I think.
Well,
it was the
this one
second
had
with
Swallow
the
Your
Akimbo.
Soul as a.
Fuck Swallow Your Soul.
Oh,
Akimbo. It's all about Akimbo.
okay.
His 3 damage attack that draws cards.
Well, I mean,
literally, like,
Swallow Your
my
Souls are
favorite
way
card.
better 3 damage attack. Is it your favorite card?
Akimbo easily.
Huh.
Dude, that was literally like the first deck that he played with was
Cassie.
Akimbo Morgan.
Oh.
Yeah, Akimbo Morgan.
That's right.
That's how we got him hooked.
Dang. Akimbo Morgan, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
something
so
about
sorry.
I mean, you got into the game off Dr. Wily 1 die.
Well, I was gifted that. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
and I was playing with a bunch of baddies. It's like,
Dude, and I got into the game with Raptor 2 dot.
Yep.
look at it. Akimbo Morgan. That's the wrong sister. Hey, true that, man. Akimbo Lilith is
I didn't
way
have
better.
a choice.
Yeah.
Like,
Anywho.
They're not even sisters.
Next retro event should be Shadow Slicer. Wowzers.
Mm.
Can't wait to get all those.
was that one of?
You-
Was that
it-
actually one
it
of?
was
them?
one of them.
Yes. And that's why, like, I hedged bets that they weren't going to ban Shadow Slicer because it was being reprinted as a PTC promo. Whew.
Stop talking about it.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on to our next topic, and it is a bit of a recap. We had a. You okay?
Gross recaps.
Oh, are we? No, I'm in the wrong Discord. My bad.
Yeah.
No.
So what's happening with Shadow Slicer, Tim?
What?
They're just talking about Akimbo.
Oh, nah, that's
But
fine.
we mentioned Shadow Slicer. I don't know if he's going to say anything.
So this episode of Study Hall is sponsored by InkedGaming.com. Are you looking to get a custom playmat? Well, then we suggest you check out InkedGaming.com. They have custom playmats, dice bags, mouse pads, and so much more. They even recently added a stitch option to their playmats and mouses as well. Inked Gaming lets you play your game with your style. And if you want 10% off your entire order, use the code TCG University, all caps, no spaces at checkout, to help support us by customizing your game to your style. Cards Custom Build. Are you into cosplay? Looking to get into cosplay? Do you want to show up to events dressed as your favorite character? Well, then Cards Custom Build can help. Cards Custom Build creates everything from cosplay accessories like props, trinkets, weaponry, all the way up to full-blown costumes. Do you want your costumes made from a perfectly flowing cloth or maybe a rigid battle armor? Well, Cards Custom Build has you covered. Their work is guaranteed to make you the talk of the con. So go over to Cards Custom Build either on Facebook or on their Etsy account. Links will be in the description down below. And make sure you mention that TCG University sent you their way and you'll get 5% off your entire order. Dex Protection is on a never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their designs and innovation come from diehard gamers and collectors just like you, so they know what you want in the products that you buy. They're constantly taking in feedback from their customers, and they have no plans of stopping their innovation or drive to refine the products until they are recognized as a leader in their industry. They make terrific products, all with the avid gamer and collector in mind. So go ahead, check them out. A link will be in the description down below. Red Riot Games. Red Riot Games is a personal friend of the show. They are the new kids on the block when it comes to singles delivery. They have currently Magic, Pokemon, and UniVersus singles available to you. So if you're interested in those card types, please go out to redriotgames.ca. Like I said, a new kids on the block in the singles market and are looking to make a really big splash. And they have partnered up with us to give you the absolute best deal possible. Once again, redriotgames.ca, and at checkout, if you use the code TCG_University, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Once again, Magic, UniVersus, Pokemon, they're coming up in the world, so you'll definitely want to get in on the ground level. Red Riot Games. On our Discord, which you can join right now at patreon.com/TCG University for $1, get access to the podcast live. I reached out and was like, yo, any of these study hall topics, and blah, blah, blah. And we got a couple.
Lightning round.
And it is kind of a recap on a topic that we had 2 weeks ago about the difference between competitive and casual mentalities. And this topic was, it would be interesting to have a topic on how easy it is to take this game from a casual mindset to a competitive mindset. And I'd actually like to go back and forth. How do you go from a casual mindset to a competitive mindset, and then from a competitive mindset, how do you cool the jets off and make it more of a casual? Like, if I'm playing against somebody who is not necessarily like trying to go crazy, like, I shouldn't just blow them out of the water, right? And so my thought is if somebody would be to listen to this podcast and they are on either end of the spectrum and they have a friend who's on the opposite end, how do you find that middle ground? That's my thought.
What'd you put as your?
So what do you?
Topic title, Mike?
What do you think?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was like,
I can't.
I think you
spell.
can start from either end of the spectrum with this, and what I'm thinking is play to like. So, for example, coming from the competitive side, try those like substandard like attacks, or try a combo that's not like proven, or like just try something kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of focused on doing something kind of crazy, and I mean, if it works, then maybe you got to change it up. But, and then from the other side, you got to play the attacks and stuff that are like proven, that just bop people, and you got to play more so with those instead of just trying to have fun. No, that's not quite right, but kind of.
What are your thoughts?
It's real rough because I would say I play more as a casual competitive player. I play competitively casually. Trust me. I'm thinking it through in my head, okay? You've play tested with me.
You're not even playing the same game as us, man.
God damn it. I understand I'm not. But like you've play tested with me. Like I already don't play the most competitively. Trying to figure out how to word this because it's
competitively
really,
viable.
yeah, for the purpose of maximizing my competitiveness. I do it to maximize how much fun I have in the game. Like I like doing bad shit on purpose.
Yeah, you set your phasers to stun, not to kill.
Yeah. I like these analogies. This is my anchor translator.
I was about to say something like that.
Which is why every time we bring up the topic of competitive versus casual, I'm always like, me and you are going to argue about this because I play like shit when it comes to trying to play competitively.
Well, the thing is like, I think it all is based on what it is that what's your goal, right? And you should be able to communicate that with your partner, with your play group about what your goal is. And so when it comes to the casual person trying to go to the competitive mindset, or how do I travel to that competitive mindset, I think it really has to be to empty your cup. Like you have to be able to say, yes, let's try some stuff. I understand that what I want to do might not necessarily be the best option, but there's a lot of casual UFS players and casual UniVersus players that are so set on, this is how I want to play, and this is they'll dig their heels in, this is the only way I'm going to play, right? As opposed to being able to reach out and across the table and be like, well, how do you play? What can I learn from you? Right? And then conversely, I think competitive UniVersus players have the exact same issue, where they're like, hey, I know that this deck mathematically works. I get that, but I'm not willing to take and try something a little crazy,
Yeah, Tim, I think that's exactly what I was trying to say.
What did he say?
I think casual UFS for me is just putting cards I want to try out in a deck, choosing to not play the busted attacks / actions in your deck.
Well, so like there's something to be said about like playing bad cards for the sake of bad cards, as opposed to finding small combos that work together.
Play testing
and I think
things, yeah.
I think that's more important whenever we're taking the competitive and trying to reach across the aisle and try and move down to more casual, of try and find these niche little sub ideas inside of the game, right? So I made a viable Voldo deck that was 11 attacks. Right? And that's just what I wanted to play. And that's a very casual deck. But I played it, and the choices that I made were the best 11 attacks that I could find. Right? And I think that's like a mentality when it comes to deck building. That's a mentality of when it comes to like the deck idea of I was there making sure that my opponent did not have fun. That was, as a competitive player, that I'll play Dragon's Tongue. You'll build none. I'll build 4. It's your turn. Did you not do anything? Okay, well then I'll play the Spider Suplex, and then I'll pick up my Dragon's Tongue again. Hey, you better build again. My turn. I'll play Dragon's Tongue. Hey, blow it up. You died. Like that is a casual deck. That deck just gets demolished by some like Lilith. It's impossible for Voldo to win.
Seal.
If you're fighting, seal the Dragon's Tongue. Pass. What do you do? You know,
it just comes down to also like mentality. Like, what do you want to play more of?
for sure. But the whole topic is how do you go from casual to competitive, then competitive to casual? How do you reach across the aisle? Shake hands like brothers. I looked at both of you to give me a handshake, and you both looked off that way. Real cool, guys. Real cool.
I looked at you.
Super. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Any further thoughts when it comes to competitive or casual?
I think certain competitive decks can be like casually viable depending on like their strategy. I don't know, it's just my 2 cents, but like the Tornilus deck that I made, like the air combo deck, I mean, it was, you know, like very try-hardy, but like at the same time, it's like a really interesting idea that is just kind of like brewed like in a basement, like in one's mind, and I think that's something that like tabletop like gaming brings out.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that like winning or just like more competitive things like bring out, just like you're like want to like experiment like with different decks and stuff like that, and I think they're just really hand in hand personally, whether that's, you know, makes sense or not. But
No, I agree. I agree. And the idea of like spending time and crafting your deck, like we've talked about like pet decks on the podcast before, and what it means to like craft a real pet deck and like groom it to something that you want. And so like whenever I am grooming a deck, the point of it is like where do I want to end with it, right? When I'm playing my Ovipositor Cassandra deck, that is a very casual deck. That deck is not optimized. That deck is not doing what it's supposed to do. That is a casual deck. How many Ovipositors can I play? And Cassandra's the best person to keep me alive, right? Like when you say Cassandra, Ovipositor, shotgun, covert intent, like those words are not supposed to exist together. And so like shotgun's nutty. Shotgun's a very competitive card. And the reason it's in there is because sometimes I just could not close out a game with Ovipositor. I just couldn't do it. And so hit the whip crack, right? But when I take and I turn around and I like want to play something that is like good, I start with a different goal in mind. You know? Like I don't like playing bad cards for bad cards' sake. I don't think that's me being a Spike, and I get that. I'm very much a Spike. I don't want to play a bad card for a bad card's sake. I have no problem playing a bad card if it combos into something, right? Like the idea of inside of that Voldo deck, instead of playing 4 Tagoro Brothers like I should have, I played 4 Koima's Task instead. Because Voldo removes the Koima's Task to let me pick up one of my things. Mm-hmm. I'll play Koima's Task, I'll find all 4 Spider Suplexes and be like, all right, I'll just suplex you to death now. But that was like a combo. Like the right call was play 4 Tagoro Brothers. Just murder.
But the cool call.
But the cool call is this, right?
Like, so for me, it's like I don't like playing any more than the minimal amount of competitive UFS I can, because I hate winning. I hate winning with a passion.
That's crazy.
You're telling me?
That's crazy.
I hate it. Do you know what I hate? And I'll to this day remember it.
By all means.
Coming home for 2 to 3 months straight, when we first started like the campus championship, that used to just be our Sunday fun day streaming.
Yeah.
Just coming home and playing the same Goro deck for like 2 to 3 months, and not leaving that table.
Except when I sat down at the table.
Sure.
Yep.
But like I hated that. It's the worst feeling in the world to just sit there the entire day and not feel like I've done anything.
And yet he chose to sit at the table, ladies and
Because
gentlemen.
I wanted to play with my friends.
So I just, man,
I hate playing competitively any more than I have to. It's just not fun to me.
I'm just here to look cool and
Bring it
chew
back.
bubble gum.
bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
And we're all out of cool.
To preface this, you are playing a different game than us for sure.
No, I kind of get where you're coming from.
Like this was definitely not the first time I've had it happen.
Okay.
Like the first time it happened, which is one I think still to this day is probably the reason I hate playing competitively as much as I do, was at Underground.
Mm-hmm.
We had gotten like some new players, and we were like a week out from that PTC in Texas, the one where I played Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And I sat there and ruffle stomped a bunch of new players practicing for the weekend. And then later was talked to because they were upset that they lost the game, or how much I was enjoying game compared to the other person. I hate that. I hate the feeling of that existing, of that disparity existing in general.
Man.
So you just want all of your games to be so unbelievably close?
Fuck, I'd love that. Sounds so cool.
So I wasn't sure if this was
Challenge.
super similar, but like in a similar way, like I understand that like Princess Perry is a really good card, but I pretty much refuse to play it
Why?
because I don't like how like that interaction of type of card. Like I want to play a fair game where you
Dang.
can like
I just don't like that card because it breaks the rules. That's just it.
You continue.
I'd much rather play a game where like I have to like block your attack instead of like just cheating.
You
it
lose
out
on
of,
your own
like,
terms and not
right,
just like
I don't want to like I don't know. It
This
just seems
is-
so cheaty.
it's one of the
like-
reasons I love Eva 1 dot or
Damn,
Eva 2 dot.
I love that there's just the two minorities just in the room. Because I want to just be in someone's face and just constantly be in someone's face.
Well, like the thing is like there is not a single card in UniVersus that I will dig my heels in and be like, I refuse to play this card because I don't like how it works. Right? There's not a single card. There's not a single card that if it was the best option for me to put in my deck and for me to play, I wouldn't play it.
Whatever.
Right? There's not one. Do you want to say Damnation?
I was gonna say Solemn Exorcism.
Solemn Exorcism? Yeah, but that card blows fat dick.
Okay, all right.
Right?
First off, that card isn't even that bad. Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
There are,
surrounded by what? I used to, and let me put it this way. I used to be this way. I used to, and then I realized that like I don't have to, like every card was designed and made. I hated Punch and Judy when it first came
I'll
out.
play whatever. I don't
Holy
care.
shit! Fuck Punch and Judy. There were times where I literally went a month and a half without winning a single game versus a Punch and Judy deck. I could not win a game.
Yeah, you
it
were-
wasn't a close one game versus
you get
Punch
fucked
and
up.
Judy. I had paid to go to a PTC in Las Vegas. I had paid for a plane ticket and thought, am I not going? God, I just don't want to go.
Well, to be honest, Punch and Judy wasn't really a thing yet before that Vegas PTC.
No, but it
But in Omaha it was. Yeah.
and I sat there for a month and a half and just got my face stomped in, and it made me dig my heels in. Fuck Punch and Judy. I'm never playing it. Never. Let me tell you, boys. Let me tell you. Punch and Judy, some of the most fun you can have in UniVersus right now. It is insane. Just
Hey.
like you just hear the cowboy music go off.
Tim, I'll let you know. Solemn Exorcism is terrific in Goro.
look, I just want to say I never meant to say that the card was amazing, but I can guarantee you that I could find 10 foundations that are even standard legal that are way worse than Solemn Exorcism.
I don't
Solemn
dis-
Exorcism has way more use than some other cards in standard.
That I know you won't play.
But to go off of what you were saying, I used to be that way with Dark Chirito, and then I threw Dark Chirito in as just like a 2-of in that Yusuke deck, and I was blowing people out with it, and I was like, wow, all right, I can see the appeal of this card. It turns off a bunch of different cards. It's really big.
One of the most broken cards still in the
really
game.
good.
And this is like completely a Spike mentality of like, hey, these cards are printed, these cards exist. Why not just play with them, right? Especially because, and once again, we have the means because we have a small asterisk. We have 2 play sets of everything that exists in the game, right? And so, like, I don't see when it comes to competitiveness, why not just play the best thing? There should be no cards that are off the table, even in my casual deck, right? I played 4 Princess Parries inside of that Voldo deck because, like, that was the point. Oh man, I'll Dragon's Tongue you. All right, during my Dragon's Tongue, I'm gonna pick up my Princess Parry. All right, did you play a card? All right, Princess Parry. During the Princess Parry, I'm gonna pick up my Dragon's Tongue. All right,
I have no problem playing competitively. I just don't want to play competitively more than I already have to.
Well, so this is where like me and you once again disagree. I love you, man. I disagree. I am in such a spot where if I sat and I was at the top all day, if I sat for a whole session and I won and won and won and won and won and won and won, I would look at you guys and go, why aren't you beating me? Why do you feel you're not? And this is the teacher in me. Why are you not beating me? Is it my deck? Is it me? Is it you? Is it your deck? All right, those are the only 4 options. Are you a little hungry? Did you not eat? Is your brain not
Did you
working?
eat
Drink
at
some water.
lunch? I don't eat at lunch.
I
on
have
breaks.
orange slices. Let's get some orange slices and try and come beat me.
Never
again.
eat during a
Tam,
PTC.
we've been through this. When you were going on your rampage with Jeddah,
Yeah.
we went through this.
So
we went through
hold
you were winning like 14, 15 games in a
Gonna take
row.
a trip down memory lane. Real fast.
And and the notepad that was kept of all the wins, like
Yeah.
I told you to. But just to quickly backtrack on what you were saying, I think a card that doesn't deserve to be played in casual, at least, I don't think that Tagoro Brothers should be put like in casual decks because it's a win more, not fun card. It's a bad interaction, and it just gives you value for no really good reason.
I completely agree.
Wait, how is that different than Princess Perry?
So. All right.
Because you have to be in desperation. That's not a reason.
Because see the thing with Princess Perry is
Tagoro
that
Brothers at least plays the game correctly.
realistically you have
I agree.
You have to base your deck
Stop that.
around Princess Perry, but like for Tagoro Brothers you can just play the 3 symbols. It doesn't even matter, like I could play a death deck, but I have the void symbol on my character, so I just get to play Tagoro Brothers, and it's just really bad. Like some foundations, for example, like you have to make a check or something like that, and like, oh, I go to pass my check. Okay, well, I'll Tagoro Brothers you, or like you have a few answers to like a really good card, and then you just get Tagoro Brothers, and then not only do you get blown out by the card that already blows you out, but then you got blown out by Tagoro Brothers, which they just drew a card or removed off of it, and like I'd rather in a quote-unquote casual format, I'd rather play against Dark Chirito 100% of the time than Tagoro Brothers 100% of the time.
Do you feel the same way about Bang because it turns off my character?
I'm a big advocate for Bang. I enjoy Bang, and I think that Bang needs to like be around, and I think it's really important. But it also isn't casual friendly, and I think it's just you're just not having a good time.
I completely agree. There are plenty of cards in the game that aren't casual friendly, for sure.
Yeah, like I'll give you like I agree with like Revoke. Revoke is a good like casual friendly card because it stops certain enhances that'll blow you out and stuff like that. But I can't get behind Bang or Tagoro Brothers as a casual card.
This kind of goes back to the idea of like no blue card in Magic is a casual friendly card, right?
Yeah.
It's like like every card that we've just described is it's pretty blue, right?
Most actions are based kind of that way. Too.
Yeah, like hey, stop doing what you're doing as opposed to keep doing what I'm doing. Like nobody's gonna complain about it's time to end you, right? Is that the Mitsurugi action like that? Because that's a
it's cool. It's a cool card.
A continued. I played my combo. I'm using another card out of my hand. Did you know there's a negate on that card?
Yeah.
You discard a
Discard
weapon
a
and
weapon,
stop
negate.
a response from happening.
Yep.
Or a form.
Yeah, or a form that never happens, but it could have stopped. Should have been bang once.
You can stop blindfold. Easy.
You doesn't have weapon on it. Blindfold doesn't have weapon.
Oh, I thought you were just saying it had.
No, you have
it
to
just
discard a
stop
weapon.
form.
It has to be a non-character response or a non-character
Form.
form.
Oh, neat. That might be why
Man,
it's in
everybody's
the
sucking
deck,
in
huh?
retro.
Huh. No, I mean that's why it's in the. I mean that got top 8. So you shut your mouth. But like what I'm saying is like the cool responsibility to like, oh, I play my thing, it's 3 damage,
Do more
build
cool
it down,
combo, yeah.
do more cool combo things. Like that's a very casual idea as opposed to who can hold the most nopes. How many no. Like it's and that's like once you start like climbing the ladder of pretty much every competitive game. I don't know very much about Pokemon, right? But I do know a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh's driven by like a 4th year deck being hand traps, right? Of being like, hey, I drew my 2 cards that work on my engine, and the rest of it is to stop you. Like that's a totally viable strategy. Be like, all right, did you go first? All right, I'll kill your engine and I'll make mine work. And that's just how you can play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Pokemon's based on seeing the most amount of cards you can in a turn.
Perfect. And if there's any cards in the game that say if you go up, if I can stop you from doing that, do
There's
that.
definitely not many, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's plenty.
No.
But like saying no to somebody inside of a game is not fun, right? You feel bad
That's what I'm
when you roll your 3rd set of doubles in Monopoly. You feel bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there's a whole game of sorry. Hey, I bopped you on the head. Go back to the start. Shit, I don't feel good.
Sorry.
Except for I get to hold my $40 sorry. And it's right? It's like
But I mean, yeah, like, and that's just kind of what it boils down to at the end of the day with enjoyment versus winning. It's just like enjoyment, you know, you want to not only have a good play experience yourself, but you want to hope that your opponent has at least a decent play experience versus like winning where it's like, well, I spent $20 like to play in this tournament, so I'm kind of going to do what I got to do.
and so like
Yeah, I mean that might just be the situation we're in right now, like because there's not a lot going on. Maybe I'm just not in that super competitive mindset, so I just want to play like a back and forth game. I don't want to like you did a lot to play that attack. I don't want to just get rid of it.
you feeling bad for me playing attacks?
Well, I don't know. And yeah, like as much as I'd like to say that I would like a back in game, like a back and forth game, which I mean they are really nice. I would rather be done. I'd rather pick up my stuff 10 minutes into the match rather than sit there for 50 minutes.
It doesn't have to be a long game.
I think that's like a whole another subtopic that we could talk about when it comes to
yeah. I
yeah.
like to bad manners crush my opponent's hopes and dreams
Yeah,
as
yeah,
fast
yeah.
as possible, and then good game, man, and then walk off.
good 10-minute game the way God intended.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the store, man. I'm hungry. It's
Gotta go outside and smoke a cigarette.
yeah,
man.
for sure. For the fucking I just gave you. So reaching a hand across the table, right? So as the casual player who's trying to play against a competitive player, just understand that
need
these
to bounce.
cards exist. You're probably gonna lose, and enjoy what's happening inside of the game as opposed to what's happening at the end result. I think is a lot of it. Enjoy the small interactions. I think that has a lot to be said about casual UniVersus. And then competitively reaching across the table, blocking with Toguro Brothers is like an amazing ability.
Draw once, super cool.
Clear card pool or draw, fantastic. Really good on an action.
Yeah, and the funny part is just like the worst interaction with that card.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the mindset? I could literally sit here and talk about mindset all day. Like I think it's so fascinating to sit and talk about how you get better, and the fact that I think wholeheartedly that mentality is so important when it comes to getting better.
You gotta want it.
You gotta understand what it is. I think that's the big thing is you have to know what it is and then want that, right? Having the most fun game of UniVersus, you go in and you play something like Bomb Man, right? Like Bomb Man's not a hard deck; it's a fun deck, but it's very fun on the one side, right? You literally, if I take and I discard 4 cards out of my hand, play 1 attack, and you discard my last card, I'm just like, your turn.
Or if you discard 4 cards in your hand at 4 in hand, you play your deck, I reverse 1, draw 3.
Yeah,
Hey!
yeah. It's like inside of the campus championship tonight. You guys had just left. I used sacrifice, and I
Drew up to
drew
8.
8 cards. Discarded for once, discarded twice. Anytime he didn't block, it was
6 plus
6
6 damage.
I had 4 in hand. I play my 1 attack. He blocks
Block?
reversals and discarded my last 3 cards.
On his turn.
Yep. And I'm just like, go.
Nice.
That's
And-
what the
and
deck was
it's-
built
and
to
it's
do
like-
too.
I can't sit here and be mad, and I really can't. I'm mad that like my cool combo didn't get to go off, but he should have died. But he had the outs. He got to. He
I
had.
had a really sick
It
out.
was so lame.
You know it was
You
fucking cool.
Drew the nuts.
I drew a block reversal and then had all 3. I had 3 of my ignites in hand on turn 2.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna talk to Cross here. I think that the problem
He
with
says
that is
the problem being a casual player is not even being able to play your cool stuff because you're dead turn 2.
I think both people need to know where they're coming from and agree. Like if you're a competitive guy, maybe you shouldn't be playing that casual guy. But if you are going to play that casual guy, you need to turn it down. Like, I mean, if you're competitive, you're going to want to win. But like, I don't know how you turn it down. But
So
Sandbag.
here's like it, and once again it's like really hard to get into this mindset, right? If I understand that I'm in a very privileged spot, if I have a very good local play group, and what I mean by good is I don't even necessarily mean your skill, but I mean like you guys are here every single week and you're playing games with me and you're playing different types of games.
I don't know. I think my skill's pretty nice.
What I'm not even talking about that. But like there's some people here who are watching the podcast. This is you literally pick up a starter deck and you're trying to play the game, right? You don't have the funds, you don't have the time, you don't have the play group to sit here and grind out games like we do. And so like my initial thought was, well, if he's playing how you beat you, if you keep throwing rock and he keeps playing scissors, play paper, right? Or like find the thing, and then he's gonna turn around and he's gonna play rock in order to beat your scissors, and then you should turn around and play paper so that he can play scissors, and then you can play rock, and then like you should go in this circle, constantly going up, trying to one up each other, but you just don't have those cards, right? So that's my issue getting into the headspace, because like, hey, if you're getting turn 2'd, play a different deck, right? If you're getting turn 2'd, play Kubara. That will stop happening.
Yeah.
You will stop being turn 2'd.
Unless they play Dark Cherito.
I mean even if so, there are plenty of answers to Dark Cherito inside of Kubara, right?
Are there?
Yes. If you play
the Earth
water
symbol,
or
you can
earth,
just
you
seal
have
it.
you have a way to seal it. So yeah, there's a Kubara Foundation that does it.
Nice.
Yeah. And so like, hey, go spend $5. Go get those. I'm sorry, those are comments. Go spend your 70 cents. Go get those cards and toss them in your deck. And now as Kubara, you just won't win. But then like the converse is like, but I want to play.
playing Kubara.
I want to play Amy. And then from there, I'm just like, well, I don't know how to play a defensive Amy. She kind of just goes ham. And so just be better at race carring them. But I'm playing against Ken.
Yeah.
You can definitely you can out race card Ken.
It just
Trust me, I know.
comes down to character select screen, the symbol that you're playing, and then your deck options and
Yeah.
the choices that you decide to make.
And how you play that game, right?
Yeah.
Because like I can't like, it is so hard to have somebody. Probably don't play 7 Hands Eyes if you want to live beyond turn 2. Hey man, that's fine. It's so hard to tell people, hey, go, just change, just do this
that's
thing.
that's
it's
what I'm
so
thinking.
hard.
Especially on a
you
game-
have to you have to find a solution that doesn't cause them to change their deck.
Right.
in my
Especially when
opinion.
we're a game based off characters more than decks. Because people play this game. 'cause
Especially
it's
if
your
the
character.
person that losing is most likely
agree,
going to be the
Tim.
casual player, and that they're probably a little more casual because they're playing their favorite character, if that's not even the best one. So
But with that said, let's take it back and spin it in a positive light. I do believe like there are, in the grand scheme of things, we've seen our pod list, right? I believe that any character from pod 3 or higher could top at a major. I believe that. The deck's got to be amazing. You got to be playing tight as hell, and you might have to get lucky inside of your tournament bracket. But I believe that. I believe pods 4 and 5. I actually just don't think you could do it. But I think you can go and you can enjoy the games that you play, and then as you are playing the games in a tournament setting, you will be filtering down to having where your deck is supposed to be. As lame and as almost classist as that is, if you are playing a 5-2 deck, you are going to go play against other 5-2s, right?
Playing a 4-4,
And
play
it's
against
possible
4-4s.
that round 2 you play against Mark Tyner and he stomps your ass into the ground, and he could have done it on turn 2 or turn 10 and it didn't matter to him. Like, it's possible that happens, but he was playing an XO deck. Like, he was determined to do that. You're playing your fun casual deck. I am
And you got lucky
determined
on
to
your-
go to this event playing
You
Botan.
got paired against another 3-4 deck in your first pairing, and
Yeah.
then got paired into the XO. So
Things go well, things don't go well. But, like, yeah, it's there's always things that you could do to make your deck better. There's always things that you can do to make your deck tighter with unlimited resources. And so, like, even with limited resources, like, I was playing as Siegfried. I was playing the Siegfried deck that won one of our Budget Campus Championship decks. And I was playing against some decks that were balled out. And I was doing fine. I was doing super, super fine because of the fact that casual games geared towards finding out how to make both decks better. Perfect. Yeah, I like that. That's cool, Fidu. That's cool.
The only thing that I keep thinking is that, like, I don't know. For some reason, like, I'm just where the question came from. I'm kind of like wondering if that the casual player just because there are casual players that don't want to get better. They just want to do their stuff.
they just want to stop
and,
cards on
like,
the table.
And how do you make that work if you are the competitive player?
What do you mean?
Like
How do you make that?
like if they're just
How does-
if they refuse to change anything about how they're playing, how do you meet them in the middle still?
So I have an example. Kind of it's from Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's a little bit different, but there's this one kid who he always asks me, I'm tired of losing, how can I make my deck better, yada yada. And I'd sit down with him, I'd look at all his cards, and I'd take his 60 card Blue Eyes deck, I'd cut it down to 40 cards, I'd tell him, look man, these are $5 a piece, save your allowance, don't enter some tournaments, get these cards, whether it's here at the store, from a player, or online. He comes in the next week, and he's got his 60 card Blue Eyes deck again, with no changes that I made. They're all cut and everything. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just can't, you can't convince someone to make changes in their deck. And what you have to do is, Shane Duckworth actually, explained this to me really well. It's easy to verse a casual player and crush them into the ground. It's even harder to make that game competitively viable for them and give them multiple shots of actually winning the game.
For sure.
So sometimes you have to take a few punches, and you have to. Another thing is you can't make those punches obvious, because even a casual player can tell when you're not playing serious or when you're trying to take it easy on them. And so it's just, I think it's a balance of you're trying to do one thing and you're in that one mindset, and your buddy's just I want to play this cool Heidi deck. Sometimes you just let them throw some mechs on the table.
Yeah, I think that is 100% determined on how much do you like that person,
Yeah.
right?
Nah, fuck them.
if that's the mentality, then fuck them. Who cares? We don't necessarily care about their feelings or their experiences. But if you are playing across the table and you are playing casuals, if you're playing friendlies, if there's not anything at stake, then I totally agree with punting some or pulling a James Stevens. That's making bad plays on purpose.
Oh yeah. I've made a habit of it because winning's not fun for me. You know what a solution to that is? Playing bad decks or bad combos to do cool things.
Can I just say you're the biggest conundrum ever?
I'm
pretty sure. I'm
We're not even playing the same
99%
game
sure.
as him, dude.
I'm 99% sure last week he said all he wants to do is win.
I mean, this
true.
is recorded.
I think
we could have somebody clip
I
it.
think what we were talking about was, what do I want to do? And it was, I want to win a cardboard. I want to win cardboard. That's different than I want to win all the time.
I don't know.
Yokohama, I
Yeah.
actually wanted to talk to James about that, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of in the tournament this weekend.
Okay.
Scott,
Okay.
his opponent built out,
Okay.
and he literally looked at his hand, or he cycled or whatever.
Yeah.
He looked at it, and then he picked up a die and he rolled it and went okay, and then built. And then Kevin was like, I think he just rolled to see whether he was going to attack on turn 1 or not, because Scott has been testing the idea of introducing randomness into your game. So as opposed to making the bad play, make a 50-50, I'm either going to attack on turn 1 with my moon set and debuild you, or I'm going to build out. And that was there were 2 lines. Both would have been fine if it worked. But, like, you had to check the 5 here, or you build out and, like, hold it, and you are technically behind because you're player 2.
Here's the thing.
I don't...
Well, I won't get into it for long. I won't get into it.
Bring it down.
This is what that's more of like a mindset for like early UFS. Early UFS, you played like sometimes it was like early game was like 60 to 20.
Will you tell me early? What do you mean by that?
Like real early, like a few years into the game UFS.
Perfect. That's... Oh, well, can you give me more descriptors? Because the word early in this context is so crazy. Do you mean in the history of the game?
History of the game.
In your personal history?
Not my personal history.
In this one game, it's turn 1, turn 2?
History of the game as it progresses.
Thank you.
At some point, I don't know the exact point, but at some point in the game, it just became natural to be like, fuck it. Build out. Go.
Attack on 1 and then attempt it?
Attempt it. Because like there's just like, if you're going second, you have a 4 diff and you have a bunch of foundations. Who gives a fuck? Oh, check back, commit, build 3.
Well, that's on safety 3s, right?
Sure. I have no idea. But like attacking on turn 1 wasn't like that unheard of for no reason. Like just dropping something, just blindside does it. It's a 5-6-3 diff. 1 check.
For bamboo, what do you mean? Blindside?
Yeah.
What?
Blindside eruption. Cadence card?
Yeah.
Oh,
cadence card.
yeah.
It's a 5-6.
Yeah,
Just
turn 1 capsule zap.
3 drop, send it.
Yeah.
Like just doing cool things. Like Flash Lightning was the same way. Like you did earlier, just like 1, 2, play it on the end. If you block it, it goes momentum. If not, it stays, goes momentum because it dealt damage. Like that was also just a good turn 1, just deal with it.
Okay.
Like it's not a terrible idea. But where the game is right now, it's not great. It's definitely not great for how much the game has evolved.
Okay.
Like the turn 1s aren't terrible all the time.
Anyway, back on topic.
Turn 1s aren't terrible all the time.
Turn 1 attacks.
I just like want to... Turn 1s aren't terrible all the time. If we had 100 more followers on Patreon, I'd make a calendar out of your fucking quotes.
A calendar?
A calendar. Every month there'd be another dumb
I'm
fucking
down.
thing that you
What are you
said.
gonna do? Are you gonna scroll through all of
Well,
our podcasts?
it's October. Turn 1's pretty cool sometimes. What the fuck does that... What does that mean?
We might at this point. We definitely should have a. That's it. We could have enough to where you could do like a daily calendar with different
I
quotes.
probably definitely would do that next week. There's no way I'd probably maybe not do that.
Yeah, probably maybe.
Probably
I
maybe.
don't words good. Shut up. I got it.
I love you. I love you so much. I think we are pretty much at the end of this podcast. I think it really is about rule 0, right? Of like understanding communication with my opponent, with the person that I'm sitting down across from, and understanding why both players are there and then why we are there together. Right?
Yeah, the only other thing I was gonna say is alternatively, if you are playing against somebody that does want to improve, just like give them pointers whenever you see something like, oh, you forgot that enhance, or you should have done this enhance before that enhance, or why didn't you play, like if you see 2 attacks that are like strangely ordered, you should be like, next time do it this way. Like
I love you saying the words, "Are you sure?" Or I'll ask them whenever the window opens up. Like I had somebody was going to go for lethal, and they had Humber Spiders on field, and I could only half block, and I was going to be left at 2. And so I'm like, all right, damage. You did damage. Do you have any responses?
You do it a lot
And-
when you play versus me because I don't pay attention.
And I'm like, man, did you get second place at Worlds once? I do this to new kids.
Here's the thing: you have to have a competitive mindset, casual mindset.
I just love teaching my little baby boy.
I played 9/10 of the game in the casual mindset.
And he has a hunt for spiders, and I look at him and go, do you have any responses? And he goes, no. And I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, you are missing something. There is something here that you can respond with.
I'm honestly pretty sure that was me.
It was not you in the example that I'm thinking of right now, but I do it all the time. I did it to almost lose a PTC against Cody Johnson. And I just had to, because like I had to give him the opportunity. I had he had a
That's right.
The snap card.
it's got Chun-Li's big face on it. Prepare to fight. He had a prepare to fight in the card pool, and I'm playing Explosion, Whirlwind Punch, multiple Fey, right? And I like multiple out, and I grab on my momentum, and he blocks with the thing
fight.
at the very prepare to fight at the very start, and then I play my attacks, and then I multiple later.
That's right.
And then he blocks again, and I look at him and I go, do you have any responses on block? And his card didn't have a response on it. And I look at him like, are you sure? Are you sure? And he pulls up a prepared fight. He goes, does that work that way? I'm like, yeah. He goes, discard your momentum or multiples. I'm like, fuck. Shit. All right, we gotta have another one. Like, I still killed him, but I had to, like, without the multiples, like, he was fucking dead.
That's how I won a lot of my games early Bebop format. Was just, oh, you're playing Spike 2? I'll block with Parafite right at the start.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, man. I don't, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Oh, you gonna play something later? Block. Dish that multiple. Because short fuse still existed. So, you could just, oh, you blocked? Short fuse. Parafite's blocked off. And I'm just like, who cares? I'll block right now. Don't give a fuck. The good abilities later.
Well, I think you're wrong about the things that you've said, but I don't want to go
what
back.
things?
If you seal the block, it's sealed for the turn. If prepare to fight,
It's sealed, yes.
yeah.
So if you block early on a mid or something else and they're not worried about it right there,
Yeah.
and they don't use it, they'll save it for later. Then Prefire just gets to sit there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if they commit it and they have the plane that readies it, but they committed on this one, so you just whatever.
Good
You play a
evil
plane
fire.
later, ready it.
I'm gonna move on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on this podcast. I really enjoyed it. I love these kind of cerebral conversations, even if I might have mispronounced that word.
Pretty close.
Once again, if you like the content, please go out and support us on Patreon. It'd be an absolute blast. Join us in the chat. I've been sitting here watching the chat blow up. Thank you guys so much. And lastly, from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching, and stay learnt.
Get learned.
Ben,
We'll see you guys.
Deuces.